What is going on, guys? Simobile Productions here. I'm back with another top list for y'all today. Or I don't think it's actually like top list itself, but it's just an interesting discussion of a topic that I thought is actually pretty interesting. That is, what are the worst sections in your favorite video games? This is something I've been thinking about for a while now, or something I've been thinking about for the last few days. And it's a pretty interesting thing to talk about. Like, you have a game that you absolutely love so much, whether it be from the story, the characters, or the design, or the gameplay, and you just love so much about it. Then you get to that one point, you're like, oh, not this part again. Do I have to go through this part again? Again, that happens. It happens. Sometimes even the games that consider to be some of the best of all time has these that one section that you just don't really enjoy coming back to. Whether it be the texture is well designed, whether it be it just has a big difficulty spike, or you just don't really enjoy the mechanics, or just how tedious, how long it takes. Again, it could be anything from a boss battle, or a mechanic, or just anything in general. And again, while the game is so good, it don't really bring down the experience, at least to me. It's on that point, so I figured I'd do a list. It's not really like an actual list, it's just me just listing down like 10 sections and games I think are the worst aspects of games that I consider to be some of my all-time favorites. And again, I did recently put a video talking about my favorite games of all time, so some of those games will be on this list. So I think that's some sense. So I think it'd be a fun list to do, and I would genuinely love to know what are your favorite, I think all the worst sections in video games down below in the comments. Again, I got 10 ones to talk about, so without further ado, let's get on to the list. And truthfully, the first thing that actually came to my mind to talk about like worst sections of games I absolutely love is the giant robot fight from Ratchet and Clank Going Commando. And that's like the first one that really came to my mind, honestly, and what led me to want to do this video. As I'm filming, I did replay Going Commando very recently. I played a lot of Ratchet and Clank games very recently, because they all pretty much my comfort series, and as I said, why the hell not? And there's one thing I've always hated about Going Commando when I replay the game, like, and it's a game I absolutely love and adore, like a lot of the Ratchet and Clank games, but that robot boss fight and playing Snail Killer, where basically you fight that giant dog and the giant robot, and you have to go through turret to turret to try to stop him, and you can't really use your weapons, and it takes like almost forever, like a half hour or longer to basically try to destroy it. And along with trying to avoid it and trying to avoid these projectiles to go for you, it's just a fight that goes on. It's just a tedious, way too long kind of fight. And every time I go to play, it's like, yes, oh my god, I'm having so much fun in this game. I love this game so much. And then I get to this point and like, really? This part again? And again, I still love Going Commando, but that part really was one that even growing up, I've always hated. And we get to one that I'm not sure how everyone really feels everyone's gonna be happy with, honestly, and that is Blitzball from Final Fantasy X. Now, I just want to clarify that I've only played Final Fantasy X once at the moment. Like, JRPGs are always something that I always, unless it's like Legend of Dragoon or Final Tactics, which are games I grew up with, I don't always have a hard time replaying them. It has nothing to do with the actual quality of games itself. It's just, you know, JRPGs are just very long games. And that's unfortunate. They are extremely long games because it's not the easiest games to just go back and replay. Okay, and I did play this game a couple years ago for the first time, and I can never see why Final Fantasy X is ever a beloved game. Hell, it was on my favorite best games of all time. It was like pretty much every game I'm talking about games that, maybe besides one that was an honorable mention, maybe a couple that were honorable mentions, but games that could be some of my favorite games of all time. But even when I play Final Fantasy, despite how much I love the game with the characters, the story, the combat system, the monsters, and the storytelling, and the emotional ending, Blitzball always been something I just never found to be that enjoyable. Things like, again, it's still ended up being very harmless, so it didn't like tear experience that much, but I don't know if it's because of the structure of the Blitzball section, how random it can be at times, and how, you know, how tedious it can be with how they're structured and how you play them and everything. Again, maybe on replay I actually might enjoy it a lot more, but every time I know I'm about to go at Blitzball, like, do I even want to do this? It's just something I just don't seem to enjoy. I'm not sure that's like a common thing or whatever, like, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but when I first played this game, I never enjoyed these sections. I don't know if I'll enjoy it on replay, but if I knew I was going to include at least one Final Fantasy game on this list, so Blitzball. And now, of course, because I knew I was going to include at least a couple of final bosses on this list, because but a lot of games are fantastic. Sometimes they end up having final bosses that are just kind of lackluster. And for me, one of the biggest examples for that is the final boss in Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Which again, I absolutely love Resident Evil 7. It was in my top 4, top 3 favorite Resident Evil games. It's a game that I absolutely love when I streamed it, honestly. It's an incredibly scary experience with great corridors, with great designs, fantastic boss fights. Maybe it could have a little more variety, but it's not like a deal breaker or anything, but it's a very... Again, it takes back to the horror roots of Resident Evil, which was missing for a while at this point. The point that you really do feel a lot of the horror aspects, like there's some genuinely tense scene mode, especially with the opening scene, like it really delivers. And this game, I've replayed it some matches a couple times. I actually still enjoy coming at this game, but I know every time I do a full playthrough, it's like the final boss, which again is not fun, honestly, mostly because it's just very short bites. It's just not one that's just easy to do, and it ends on a very ends a very anticlimactic mode where the boss is just defeated. It's just like a lackluster final boss and lackluster fight to an always great game that goes on the scale than the bosses. That's what I'm gonna say about that, but yeah. If I found an final boss that really I found part of the worst final boss in any great game, I would always go to Resident Evil 7. And now we of course go to the Spyro franchise. Now, of course, making this list, I knew that Spyro was going to be someone, because I love Spyro games, much the next guy. Like, I play those games very often. I grew up these games, and I remember being super excited when the Wii 9 trilogy came out 6 years ago. Damn, 6 years ago? Don't. But yeah, I knew that at least like one Spyro game was going to make the list. I knew I was going to pick one for my favorite one, Year the Dragon, which has always been my favorite of the free games, honestly. Despite the fact that Ripto's Bridge probably has more consistency to it, but I don't know, Year the Dragon's always one I've always come back to so often. I know definitely a couple spots I could do. There's a couple exceptions where I'm like originally I was gonna go with the boxing fights with the one with Bentley Vice Deity, but then I remember the skateboard races. I'm more talking about the one in Lost Fleet and the one near the Super Bronze, right? Not the skateboarding itself, because I love skateboarding sections that you do on, so I love doing the tricks, and they're just so much fun to do. I'm more talking about the one in Lost Fleet, where you have to race with these guys, and just, even growing up, that's something I never really enjoyed. I remember like, this part, oh my god, do I have to go this for a short time again? Should I? Now you can imagine that I never really enjoyed that section. It's just not fun. We're different controls, design the level, and just not being a fan of racing in general. Like, and top it off, the end to put one of the last things you do in the super bonus round, which is of course the true final level of the game. And that, honestly, in my opinion, is even worse, honestly. Like, that's one I do not enjoy at all. Whether it's from the design of the level, or the controls of the skateboard, and being racing, like, it's just like I get so antsy whenever I come at this game. It's like, oh, no, we have to go through this part again. God. And now we get to the second final boss on this list. I try not to include too many people that retail by bosses, but I knew I was going to include this one. This one I never really enjoyed, and that is the final boss in Uncharted 2, Among Thieves. Now, I debate between this and the beginning stealth sections, but those I never really actually hated, even when I would play playthroughs. They're not anything I dread coming back to. But if I find something I always do dread coming back to, is definitely the final boss in Uncharted 2. I'm not sure if I'm the only one that never liked this fight, but I never really liked this fight. This is so tedious, so frustrating at times, trying to dodge this and that, and the fight itself just poor design in general. Like Uncharted's never been like great when it comes to final bosses, at least until Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy. But this one I just never really enjoyed, whether from the design of the fight, I'll always die constantly because of things out of my control. It's just a general frustrating fight in general, at least, and it doesn't really end the game on the best note. But again, I still do love Uncharted 2. It's one of the best action games of all time for a damn reason. But that final boss just. And now we get to one of such. I'm pretty sure everybody will put on these lists, and I'm gonna go with the sub sections from Marvel Spider-Man. I'm actually gonna talk about the first Marvel Spider-Man, honestly, because I actually don't hate the sections in the second one, honestly, mostly because they actually get married to a gun to use in this game, and they get more ammunitions and more stuff to do, so it's like, I don't really hate these sections at all in that game. And Joe, I don't hate sections that much, so I don't hate these sections as much. Let's do it again. Okay. I don't hate these sections as much as everyone else, but even I can acknowledge that they're probably my least favorite part of this game, whenever I come back to replay it, wherever I come back to it in general. Of course, that's a special replay as Mary Jane and Miles, and as I think through this and that. And honestly, it's something I never really hated when I first played it, but it's something you kind of do notice on repeat playthroughs. Like, oh, this part, I totally forgot about this. It's always something you notice when you end up replaying the game, when you end up going through it again. You're like, oh, I still have to do these sections? Really? I mean, it's not like boring or tedious or anything, but it's just not that most fun. Honestly, stealth's never been the most. I mean, truthfully, stealth has never been the most fun for me. Honestly, at least I feel like forced to release a lot of stuff. I don't know. That's part of why I'm still not huge on Metal Gear Solid yet, at least as right now. But yeah, and again, stealth and racing are probably two things that I just never really seem to enjoy. Honestly, I'm not sure why. Honestly, it's just something I just never have fun with. And so, yeah. But yeah, I don't hate these sections, but they're probably all my least favorite parts in Alright, amazing, and probably my favorite superhero game of all time. And now I'm going through this list. I knew I was going to include. Sorry. When going through this list, I knew I was going to include a Kingdom Hearts game on this list, because I love the Kingdom Hearts franchise, much as the next guy. And of course, a lot of people expect me to put Atlantica from the original game and Kingdom Hearts 2, honestly, but I mean, I hated Kingdom Hearts 1, and we all hate Kingdom Hearts 1, but I never hated Kingdom Hearts 2, honestly. And I feel like those have been kind of done to death at this point, so I'm gonna go a little bit different. I mean, something that's also a pretty obvious worst level in the great game, but one I'm still going to include on this list, and that is the Arendelle level from Kingdom Hearts 3, The Frozen World. And yeah, I don't hate this world, but it's like the more I replay Kingdom Hearts 3, the more I go back to it, the more like, oh, Arendelle, I totally forgot about this. Like, it doesn't, like, honestly, it doesn't look good enough with that amazing boss fights. It's just more the design of the world in general, and how big it is, and how easy it can be lost, and you also got that annoying Olaf section as well. Like, it's a really structured world, where from a story perspective, but also from a design perspective in general. Like, it's not, like, boring or anything, but it does something I just now find to be much enjoyable. And of course, while everyone will also include Atlantica, like I mentioned, how some people include like Wonderland or Deep Jungle, Monstro, or all that stuff, or a mini game for that games. But I never really got to talk about Arendelle for Kingdom Hearts 3 on this channel, so I figured, why the hell not? No, again, it's not a terrible level by any means, but in a game that probably has a lot of great worlds to Kingdom Hearts 3 in my opinion, this is one that is like, try to do this world again. And now we get to a boss from one of my favorite games, The Legend of Dragoon. And I'm somewhere down the road I do plan on doing a nostalgia road trip video on this game, which is a game I honestly have so much nostalgia for, so much love and appreciation for. So definitely expect that down the road. But again, another game I knew I was going to include on this list, because there's definitely got a couple bosses that I've never been the biggest fan, but how amazing this game is on the story level, character level, and of course on the gameplay level. But the part I've always been like so frustrated and so like dreading to come back to every time I play the game is the final boss in Disc 1, the Emperor Duel fight. It's because when he's just Emperor Duel, he's fine, he's okay. It's just when he goes to Dragoon form, it's what I never really enjoyed. Mostly because of how he always like spams certain attacks and he has to do massive damage to a party. It's just fair that just goes on too long and it just can be a bit tedious when he just spams like certain attacks. So it would be from when people do the attack, we end up attacking all the party members and the long cutscene and on that, and then the constant boringness of levels. Like, I'm not sure if I'm the only person that really doesn't like this boss fight. It's more like it probably could from a nostalgia because it's a boss I've always struggled with growing up, and I kind of still do, honestly. And it does end on a good emotional level at the end, but in terms of the actual boss fight in general, it's what I never really enjoyed. Even when I replayed it recently this year, I never really enjoyed this fight. I never liked it in general. Like, generally, it's like not a terrible fight by any means, but It's just one I never really enjoyed because of the design of the fight, the spamming of attacks, and how it just deals this and that and everything, and how long it can be to beat at times. Like, I just never really enjoyed that degree that Emperor Duel fight, which is the final boss of Disc 1. See, what's his name? Okay, perfect. And now, we get the last two. By the way, these bosses, these sections aren't really in particular order. Let me know if you guys want to see a part 2, because I actually have a lot more choices than I actually anticipated, actually, going into this list. But basically, no one that came to my mind, honestly, is just the bosses in general from Batman Arkham Asylum. Which again, Arkham Asylum is amazing. I do love this game. I played it a few times, and I definitely do enjoy coming back to it. A great atmospheric game that really makes you feel like you are the Cape Skater, with great combat that's getting improved on later games. Great graphics, great storytelling, the Joker being the Joker. But I'll be first to admit that the bosses have never really been my forte. And I'm not like the main boss fight, which is just not disappointing. The Killer Croc one, which is just easy, and of course, do not get me started on the Joker boss fight, which really Titan Joker. I don't think I need to say more about that, but yeah, as much as I love Arkham Asylum with the atmosphere and everything, the music, I mean, the boss fights, especially the final one, definitely to bring it down a little bit. Like Jillian, that's the only reason why the game did end up making my top 50 best games of all time. Because honestly, it wasn't for that, it probably wouldn't have made that list. But yeah, see what you gotta do. But yeah, Arkham Asylum is honestly still an amazing game. Just those sections do break it down a little bit. And for the last one, I'm actually going to get to another game that honestly, if it wasn't for this section, it probably wouldn't have been my actual best list. And we're just talking about the original Psychonauts, which I remember playing for the first time a few years ago, and I remember absolutely loving this game. Like, it's definitely a game that's definitely worth the call following you receipt. Like, it's a really good concept where you basically have a summer camp, and you basically go into these people's brains and their minds and their worlds, and you get a lot of different types of mechanics and a lot of different things to do, and everyone just feels like different from each other, and then you have a lot of different worlds to explore and a lot of uniqueness and variety and everything. And but it never got boring, and it never got tedious. And it also gives you some really great stories involving these characters. The only one I never really enjoyed though was of course the Carnival level, which is the final level of the game, unfortunately, which again, when I first played it, I never enjoyed it. I've been told how this game is just a really spicy difficulty, and the platform is not great. And yeah, they were wrong. When I ended up streaming this game, I got extremely frustrated at one point. I probably got the most frustrated I ever felt with streaming. When it comes to the especially with that final portion, which is maybe from the designs or the worlds or how it's structured and all that stuff I do, which can be tedious, difficult for no reason, and how also long it can be at times, and the checkpoints as well. Like, it makes for an experience that I found to be super frustrating. Again, if it wasn't for the fact that it was that frustrating, this game also would have made my top 50 best games of all time because of how fun the game and amazing it was beforehand, and how I still would not mind coming back to Psychonauts at some point. Earlier this year I replayed the sequel, and also the sequel's actually one I actually don't really have as much bad sections, honestly, so which is kind of surprising. But that I know every time I go back to the first one, it's like, the first level, the fucking photo level. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed me discussing or I out the worst sections and great games. This actually was a fun list to do actually. Like, I don't even know what random list you guys want to see me do down below. Let me know if you guys want to see a part 2, because I actually have more of these types of things that I like. Oh yeah, why do I love this game, but not like that part. But let me know what yours down below. Let me know any like you think are bad, terrible parts in your favorite video games. I will love to know down in the comment section. Let me know what other videos and content you guys want to see me down below. I am Cinema World from Cinema Productions. I will see you next time. As always, stay cool about day. Peace.